Hey everybody, Rebels Cloud 9. This is probably going to be the final video for this series. I'm basically done. I'm so excited. I did quite a bit of work before this, so I'm going to show you guys um, some of the problems I ran into with the kit, and more specifically I ran into with the decals. I really want to show you guys that, just so if you're building the same kit, you can avoid them, because they did cause me a bit of a pain. So, you remember I poked all these little holes in here in this big decal so I could get the air out. And it still silvered up a little. And I thought maybe it was just solvent on the top. And so I tried washing it off. And there was a little bit of solvent residue in there. But, excuse me, that was disturbing, huh? It still didn't work. So I covered it in future because I wanted to protect the finish. And it went away. I can just see a thin trailing edge of where the decal is. So that's really cool. It's all gone. Like, you can't even tell that there's a decal there. Especially these two on the back there. One of the worst ones of the kit. Um, Before I get to the worst one, these yellow and red ones here, these are doors for service shuttles. They come out there. Trim these ones as close to the decal as you can, as close to the edge. Trim off that excess stuff because it's going to help it fit in there better. It on the bottom I did do that, and they are better on the bottom. So look out for that. Look out for that on a lot of the decals. Okay, that's going to help you out a ton when you're doing this. The one on the back is one I've never been able to do before because of the excess decal, and I actually trimmed around it, and I actually cut off a lot of it to make it smaller. The decal's too big, so the easiest way to get this decal to work, honestly, it would be to install it before you even started assembling, because these you remember this part here on the back is all pieces that you assemble, and the decal kind of fit underneath it. It slid underneath it a little bit, and even then it barely fit. So that was kind of a rotten one, but I was glad I got it on because on my other one I wasn't able to do it. Um, One other one here is this red line right here. It goes on either side of the engine, and the problem with this decal is it's a long decal that goes all the way down to about here, but you have this V-shaped pylon in here, and the decal definitely cannot go over that. They will not. These decals won't bend like that. So all I did is I put it down on the engine, and then once it dried enough, I cut it off, and that looks good enough to me. So it's supposed to come to about here, but it just goes up to here. Looks good enough. Um, do you remember I talked about that bulge that's here? Kind of a blister right there. And I cut it off because it wasn't on the box art. Made that decal go down a lot easier. That was probably... I was kind of tempted not to do it, and I'm really glad that I did, and just, repainted it. Helped me out a lot more than you would think. Um, probably this is probably the last of the tricky decals, is the red band here with the yellow arrowhead here. Okay? This decal is supposed to start here before this curve in the lower hull, and it goes over an airlock door. And I didn't like that it went over the airlock door, because then I'd have to cut around it, and it would it would remove some of this nice detail. So all I did is I pushed it behind, but then I ran into another problem. I found another little problem. Is it says on the bottom here, the decal, it says SS Enterprise, and that's supposed to go here on this section. It's right here. So all I did is I cut it off, I glued it onto here, or decaled it down there. I guess it is glue technically, and because if I didn't, it would be on this bottom lip here, and that's no good. So I fixed that. I did the same thing on the other side. The decal is still filmy, and so all I did is, again, when it dried, I just cut off the excess film, covered it in Future, and I'm good to go. Uh, the Future did a lot of good. Like, again, like in here, I stabbed all these little holes in it for the red line, and you can't see it anymore. It's so awesome. I'm so excited about that. And the last thing I did was, where did I put it? Oh, here it is. I built the display stand. This is the resin one. I made out of this one here from the original. And what I did is I had to take a Dremel to it to clean all the edges and stuff. And when I did that, it made it really, really rough. And so I thought, oh, I'll just take some Tamiya sandpaper, or sandpaper in general. I had a whole bunch, but the one on my desk is Tamiya. Anyways, I thought I'd just polish it. And nope, I don't know what resin this is, but it is way too tough for that. It didn't work. So I just primed it, painted it black. I cut the display stand in half, and look at this. Looks great. I am so happy about it. It's stable, it is heavy, and I have tested the model on it a couple of times, and it does not want to tip or anything, and this is great. This is like the happiest thing for me today to get that. So that's done. I had to have that done first. So let's get building the model, because like I said, I'm basically done. I'm going to move that over there. I'm very, very excited to do this. What should I do first? I do know what I should do first. It's not that. One more piece. Okay. There's that. And that. Put that over here. Oh, come on. Ooh. That went flying. Had a good ring to it. Okay. Back in the box. This just needs a slight bit of cleaning, but not much. And for these little marks and stuff, like the little sprue nicks, I'm just going to hide them behind these claws on here. Now these are supposed to just fit in. If you remember my other one. Okay, come on. Okay, come on. Okay, that's in. Oh, this one needs to be cleaned a little more. Okay. I'm actually gonna, I'm gonna pause the video because it's gonna take me a little too long, so I'll be back.